Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Today is Monday, March 17th. And I just want to note here that the NASDAQ, St. Patrick's Day is just an excuse to drink green beer, right? Anyway, um, I don't drink beer. So, anyway, enjoy yourself on St. Patrick's Day. I just want to point out here the NASDAQ was up 55 points today, or 0.31% on 21% below the average daily volume. So, in order for it to go higher, it's got to stop going lower. And it appears like it wants to stop going lower here as it made that low of 17,238 on Tuesday of last week and retested that low at 239 there on Thursday, had a little rally on Friday. People got excited about the little rally there at 2.61% on lighter volume than today, even less volume on a move of 55 points. So it's right up against the 10 EMA, so it's got a lot of work to do. You can see it's got to cut through this moving average at the 10, the 21, 3.3% below the 200, 7.2% below this 50 here, which is this red line, which is down trending. So a lot of work to do today. I just want to point out a couple of things here, which I think are helpful or bullish. One is that the RSP was up 1.35%, so much higher than the Nasdaq. You could see it made that low of 168 last week. Then on Friday, bounced up to 172. Today closed at 170, call it 175. And it's trying to get through the 200. So this looks better than the Nasdaq. This is an equal weighted S&P 500. So it's giving equal weight to Apple and Meta and Tesla and NVDA as to the other 493 stocks in the S&P 500. So the Mag 7 now is being outperformed. I just got to go today to this. Yeah, this Meta was down today. Google was down today. They were all down today. All the Mag 7. Tesla, which is incredibly weak right now, way below its 200 here, 15% below the 200. So I don't entertain stocks like that. NVIDIA below the 200 there, 6% below the 200 down today. So this is not the group that's carrying the Nasdaq. It's the other, it's more, I'm going to get to them in a minute, but it's really the same old stocks that I've been pointing out for a long, long time. And I'm going to get to them because I do not trade the Mag 7 and I don't trade the indexes. I like strength. I like new highs. I like the miners. The miners have been showing incredible strength. And this is pretty much like shooting fish in a barrel here with these Canadian miners. This is the AGI Alamos gold up 2.7%, making a new high. Agnico Eagle Mines, another one. I had this on the ready list. I said I like it above 100. And if you haven't bought anything yet, you're on the sidelines and you're looking for something to buy, and say we have a follow through day on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever, and you want to buy something, you could just buy something like, a mining index here. This one's breaking out, making new highs. So, if you don't want to buy an individual stock, just go to one of these groups that I'm going to show here, the miners, the Europe stocks, the China stocks, the utilities, and then some of the drug names, and just kind of stick with the strength. I like stuff that, are making new highs. FNV is Franco in Nevada, another Canadian gold mine. These Canadian gold mine stocks they're gold mines, right? Wheaton Precious Metals. You can see the group, top 10 group. These things are making new highs. So to me, I'm just going to stick with the strength. Why? Because institutions are buying them. And, the stock doesn't know that you're buying it, right? Maybe it does. As soon as I buy it, it'll go down. But they're making new highs. They're showing strength. I like strength. So that's the minor group. Also, I mentioned the European stocks. This is Nokia making new highs today, and they're showing strength. Santander, same stocks I keep showing, day after day. They're the ones that are flexing, showing strength. So, the only thing that's going to pay in your account is price. Price pays, and these ones have the price. TIGO, this is one that I did buy last week, holding, it went down today, what, 14 cents. Made a new high, then pulled back. Still looks good to me. And then uh, biotech stock, a Danish biotech stock, up made a new high today, up 10%. breaking out of this consolidation pattern. It's been in consolidation for a long, long time. There you see the blue dot indicating the relative strength, and the RS line heading due north. So a 10% move for that one. So the European stocks are showing strength. And if you don't want to buy an individual European stock, you can always buy the German ETF, which is EWG, which is just, showing strength here. I mean, like I say, if you don't want to buy an individual stock and you want to own, like the DAX has been really strong lately, the German market, you can always pick this exchange traded fund if, you're so inclined. Also, the China stocks are showing strength. This is BABA. I just showed you the weekly. This is the daily. You're up 4.5% today. There it is on the weekly. It broke out of this base, went sideways for 3 weeks, and now moving higher again today. BABA making a new high near 150. So that one looks good. LX, this is a fintech stock. In China, finance consumer loans making new highs. I know it's a $10 stock, but I kind of like new highs. I'm a sucker for new highs. Pinduoduo, or how, I don't know how you say it, PDD, still in this like a stage one base here, and this looks good to me as it powered through its 200, and it's above all of its moving average there. So that one looks good. And then this one I mentioned last week. JFIN looks good, making new high today. I do like Futu. It reported earnings last week. Pulled back slightly today to its 10. I still like it there. Off the 10. Let's see a bounce here and take out that 130 level here pretty soon. All right, so that's it for China. So you got the miners, you got European stocks, you got China stocks, and also I would consider this a defensive group, but they're performing well. This is Duke Energy. I had it on the ready list a while ago, but these things move really slow. So this is like, they pay big dividends, they pay you to hold them, making new highs though, so you're getting paid a dividend with the stock making new highs, breaking out of a base here. There's your yield, 3.5% to hold it. Not bad. All right. So let's see what else we got here on this. Oh, Con Ed, another one of these utility. This one is in stage one base here. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Yeah, I mean, this is nice little cup-shaped pattern. It is straight up off the lows, so you got to be careful there, and maybe a pullback or something. But yeah, it's well above its 10 EMA, as you can see right there. This is Con Ed, 3.3%. Another one, it's a utility stock. It's a slower mover. This is not AppLovin or MicroStrategy or anything like that. And then DTE is another utility name. Consolidated in a base here and moved up 1% today, made a new high. So, I love new highs, and because it's showing strength. Any stock at a new high is probably showing strength over the market, especially with the indexes struggling the way they are. All right, so I like the miners, European, China, utilities, and also the drug stocks. I'm sorry. TGTX, one of my favorites here. Why? Well, because they have the sales and earnings growth. And if you look at the out years here on, I'll go to the weekly on TGTX, everything's got to go right. And in drugs, things can go wrong, like competition or, a patient gets ill or something. So, bad things can happen. Specifically, competition can come at any time. But this one has, pretty much the best in show multiple sclerosis, and multiple sclerosis patients live a long time. And so once they're on this, which has been converted to Briumvi, they're not likely to switch out. So this is recurring revenue, and they're getting a lot of new ads. The CEO, and one of the executives, I don't think it was the CEO, I think it was the CFO, said they had record subscriptions in January and February. So we're halfway through March. I'm sure this quarter is going to be pretty darn strong. But like I say, if you look at the out years, these guys are going to be earning, yeah, a lot of, over a couple of dollars at the end of this year and into 2026. The estimate there was at what, dollar 93. So $2, call it, for a stock growing at triple digit growth. Even if it calms down to like 50% growth at a $2 stock. I don't want to say $100 stock, but I'd say conservatively 60, which is a 50% bump from here. So to me, this is one that I want to own. This is one that I do own. And I just think they're executing well, taking market share, have best in show drug. 6.4 billion market cap. CEO gets a bonus at 10 billion. I don't know if it's going to get there this year. I think it will, but if not this year, next year, depending upon the market, you got to have, the market's got to accommodate. It's been pretty wonky lately. But that's one that I do like. In this group, ARQT, this is one that I was going to put on the ready list this week, but I didn't. I kind of wanted to keep it conservative. This one had a double bottom base, pulled back to its 10 the last three sessions here. So you can see why I wanted to put this on the ready list, but I didn't, and then it popped 12% today, so I have to let that go. So, I don't know. Those are the type that kind of burned me up because I missed it. And, but you could say, oh, I missed it, but you can also say, you train the eye and you had it on your eyeballs, but you let it go. So now you don't want to chase it. You can let it come back into that, 15 or 16 area, 16, 20 or whatever. If it wants to pull back, where's the 10 EMA? 1482, yeah, going up like 40 cents a day, so maybe 15 change. But I'm not going to chase that one. I prefer TGTX. And then I showed you ASND, which is another one, Danish stock that made new high today, breaking out. And then the other one, oh, I know which one, XERS. I had a friend who's, really big on this one, and yeah, it's okay. I mean, making new highs. I know it's a lower price stock, but it was up 4.3% today. And another one that he likes that I have to do a lot of research because these things can really burn you. This is Ocular Therapeutics, and yeah, it was up 3% today. A nice pullback here from 11. Yeah, I'm just, you got to be really picky with these biotech stocks. All right, I'm out of that group, and then into the next group that I like are the insurance companies. Once again, kind of slower movers. This is Brown and Brown. Nice 1.5% move today. Just had a 3 weeks tight pattern. So I did put this one on my ready list there. You see, as I zoom in, it had this cup-shaped pattern, broke out 4 weeks ago, then had this 3 weeks type pattern. Nice move today. Trying to move out of that base there. What is that? 120.08. And the high from a little while ago was what, 121.25. So nearing new highs. I like Brown and Brown. Hartford HIG is another one that I like. You can see the cup with handle pattern making a nice move today, up 1.3%. So that's another one in the insurance group that I like. I like a lot of these insurance companies. Once again, 3 weeks tight. Actually, I think I did put this one on my ready list. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't want to have too many in the same group, just in case there's a rotation. But that one looks good. Hartford. Progressive, another one, 3 weeks tight. So these have been trading tight for a while, and now they're moving out up nearly 3% today. That's three in a row, 3 weeks tight pattern. How about that? And there you can see the move higher, and then the tight action is a pullback to moving average. That looks really good. And then Allstate. Yeah, that looks like a cup. That looks like a handle, though. The pattern rec's not picking it up, though. That's a nice pullback. And yeah, breaking out. You can see the blue dot. So these insurance stocks are super strong. You can see it's at a 52-week high. So they look good. So that's a lot of different groups that I just went through here. The miners, the European, the China, the utilities, the insurance, some drug stocks, a lot of strength there, diverse. It's not the Mag 7, okay? But you have to play the game that, you have to, take what the market gives you, play what works. Don't try to stick a square peg in a round hole or whatever the saying is. Just got to play with what works now. And this is what's working. I am interested in a couple of names here that are bouncing off lows. I am not a bottom fisher, but these guys want to start cooperating. I'm taking a look at Robinhood, looks pretty decent. MicroStrategy, I guess is now it's just strategy. If it wants to blow through this 50, I'm all for it here. You can see it found support at the 200. And if we take a look, take a step back, you can see this thing really has the ability to move. I mean, this thing has been a monster. You look at it 16 to what, 540. Okay, I'll take another move like that. Heck, I'll take a 100-point move. But MicroStrategy is definitely one that I'm watching, along with Hood, CrowdStrike, obviously a cybersecurity name that's a favorite. Undercut the 200 now has rallied back through here. It's right at the 21. I could see this thing rallying right back through the 50, up 3% today. So don't give up on CrowdStrike. Spotify, I just like to buy a little more strength there. There's not enough strength there. Spotify has. It did not pull back like the rest of them undercut the 200 or even down to the 200. It undercut the 50 and rallied back above. So this one to me is more ready to for me than the others. And then App 11 obviously got hammered. We know this one moved. It moved from what, 80 up to first of all, it moved from 40 to 80. That put it on my radar. Then moved 80 to 525, then pulled back. Didn't quite make it to the 200, but down to 234. Now it's starting to rally back up above 300. So if that one wants to rally back through the 50, take a swing at that one as well. All right. That's the bottom feeding crowd. I want to take a look at, since I'm moving into the bottom fishing, AMD, I thought 120 was a low, I thought 110 was a low, and now it's here at 100 and just bebopping along that 100 level. And if we take a look at the weekly here, we can see this one traded 3 weeks tight as well at the low. So maybe that 94 was the low. It made lower low, and then now we got a higher low, and it's above that, 94 area. It's above 100. Like I say, if you're a bottom fisher, which I'm not, but this might be worth taking a swing at as well. Another one that I like, 3 weeks tight, which is, you could see that here, right here, just going sideways here, and usually that's a sign of accumulation. CVS, this is not App 11, or a stock that's going to move really fast, a software name like Palantir, or MicroStrategy. This is a slower name, but this one also had a 3 weeks type pattern. And if it can break above this, 67 area, 67.25, I'm all for that. So definitely one on the watch list here. Trying to break out of that 3 weeks type pattern. Obviously has a, standard pivot up there at the 83 level, but just for a trade, CVS looks pretty good to me. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs and St. Patrick's Day, which I am not Irish, but we can celebrate anyway. Jazz, which is headquartered in Ireland, I believe, right here, headquarters Ireland. It's out of Palo Alto, though. This is a pharmaceutical company, and it was up nearly 2% today. So the luck of the Irish there, huh? Broke out of a base, pulled back nicely. That's a nice bull wedge pattern. Found support at the 21 and pop. So if you didn't catch it here out of the breakout, I think it's giving you another chance there. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll have more in the morning. I've been a little bit discombobulated, been traveling a lot lately, so bear with me. All right, the market's looking a little better, and if we can get a follow-through day this week, we're gonna be stepping on the gas. I can feel it. All right. Thank you for watching. Stay positive. Never give up.